Hey everyone, Sparks back with a Wuthering Waves video. I wouldn't have expected to be saying that until just now, but this is just kind of like a video about my feelings on Wuthering Waves and a message to all of my longtime viewers, and of course any newer viewers as well. If you just clicked on this video, welcome. We've got a lot of content on different games here, but let's talk about Wuthering Waves. So this video is not to make anyone who is excited about the game feel bad, okay? I want to preface that, okay? It's probably honestly a bad way to start the video because now I've like set people up for like negativity, but like really this is just to talk about my own feelings and, you know, if you are excited about the game, that's cool. And it is a cool game, but you know, it's just, I'm going to talk about my feelings on it here and my plans for the channel. Okay, so there's been a lot of chatter online about it. A lot of my viewers are excited about it. People are talking about it all in my community Discord. Link to that in the description below, by the way, if you're interested in joining my community Discord. And so I know that there's a lot of people out there. It's one of the biggest mobile game launches we've gotten recently. You know, people are making a lot of comparisons to Genshin Impact, which we'll talk about in a second. And I've done a lot of research on the game. You know, I've looked at all like gameplay videos and of course like the cool flashy trailers and things. I've looked at like various like tips and reviews that people have had who've made like had access to the open beta, things like that. And so, you know, it's been interesting, and it's definitely, you know, as a content creator, something that I wanted to, you know, make myself educated about and see if it was something that I was interested in. And like I mentioned a second ago, people are talking about this like it's the next Genshin killer, okay? Which has been said about a lot of games, and like nothing has actually overthrown Genshin Impact yet. But, you know, this does look like a really good game. As far as like that type of game goes, we'll see what its long-term success is actually like. You know, is it actually going to be like one of the top mobile games out there? Mobile slash PC slash console, which we'll talk about in a second as well. The thing is, all of them, to me, are just like watered down AAA games. And I really prefer my mobile games to be mobile games, you know, and they sort of have different mechanics and just sort of like basic gameplay philosophy that works really well for the type of games you can pick up and play for a little bit. They work well with just like touch controls on a screen. Some of them are more retro, some of them are more modern and do like really clever new types of combat that we've barely seen before, such as Nikke, but it still really works in that like mobile game space. Now, I didn't even play things like Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom. Now, I'm not really like a Zelda franchise fan anyway, although I've played a couple of the games, but I just kind of don't even like that sort of like, I don't know if you would actually call it cell shaded, but like the sort of cartoony, but not super cartoony, you know, kind of look. I don't know. I'm doing a really bad job of describing it, but I just don't really like that art style. So, you know, whether it is something like, you know, Breath of the Wild or Genshin Impact or now Wuthering Waves, which is a little bit more distinct. I feel like the characters look a little slimmed out, slightly more realistic proportions and things like that. You know, maybe something similar to like Honkai Star Rail, but I just don't like that graphic style. I definitely prefer either like the super realism, really detailed ones, you know, or something that's really more on like the anime spectrum, you know, whether it's like Nikke or, you know, Destiny Child before that or whatever, of course, you know, and it doesn't even have to be like, you know, hot female characters, but just sort of, you know, that different sort of more like stylized anime style or something that's very, very realistic. And this sort of like in between slightly more cartoony style, I'm not a fan of it. And so I have a hard time getting drawn into a world that has that kind of aesthetic. And that's just my personal opinion. Again, this is like not something that everybody else has to agree with, but I'm just telling you why I am like maybe not super excited about that. The other thing is that I am, you know, a mobile game exclusive when it comes to mobile games. I don't play on PC, okay? And the controls for a game like this just don't really seem that great. You know, any of these sort of like real-time open world kind of things, you know, especially if you're having to perform like different combos and things like that, it's just like really not great for that kind of interface. Now, it is cool to see that from what I've seen, there actually is quite a bit of skill required to the combat, which is really cool, something that I appreciate in games. You know, something that I really like about Stellar Blade, for instance, or Elden Ring. I love challenging gameplay. I like parrying mechanics. And so, you know, the fact that that is included in Wuthering Waves is, in theory, a positive, and I think really cool. It's not just like kind of the basic hack and slash that I sort of thought it was when I first heard about it, but it is almost sort of a downside when you look at it from like a mobile perspective, because like I said, the controls just aren't going to be as good and as tight. Now, again, if you're a PC gamer, that might change things a little bit. Also, I do know there is a PS5 version coming, which is cool, you know, and all these games are kind of like blurring the line between like a console PC game and mobile game. Like a lot of them are getting closer, but it's just most of them are still just kind of like weaker versions of like actually purpose made, you know, from the ground up games for either a PC or the PS5. You know, they're kind of like a little worse than all those games, but like really trying to push like mobile hardware. And so just for me, if I'm going to play a real time game or a high skill game, a big open world game, I'm going to play something else like Stellar Blade, which I've been playing a lot lately. And so, you know, otherwise I'm going to want to play something that's more of like a real mobile game experience, like Nikke, like Azure Lane, which by the way, we just got a new UR character, which I will be probably pulling for on stream tomorrow. But yeah, so I don't know. It's this sort of like in between area that I'm not super crazy about, that I feel like isn't quite there for where it needs to be with the current technology, I guess you could say, because it's like really pushing it on one end and then it's sort of like a watered down version on the other end. I don't know if that makes sense. So, you know, now as a content creator, from a monetary perspective, this would be really great to cover because again, there's a lot of hype about this game. A lot of players are going to start playing it. We'll see what the long-term health of it is, how many people actually stick with it, but definitely there's a lot of interest in it and there could be a lot of content to be made here. But the thing is, it's probably not good for me because I'm just not excited about it and you guys would be able to tell. And so I don't want to make something that I'm not really into and end up providing sort of like subpar content for all of you guys, when I'm sure there are other content creators that will be making a lot of high quality content for this game. And I'll stick to the games that I'm excited about, and I believe I do offer really high level content for those. So, you know, it's just not going to be my territory, I guess you could say. Now, I wish you luck. I hope the launch goes well. And, you know, tell me what you're most excited for in Wuthering Waves, what character you're hoping to pull for. You know, I'll probably try it out briefly, just, you know, privately. I'm not going to make content for it, but these are the reasons why I'm not going to and why it doesn't really appeal to me. If you can convince me otherwise, I'd love to be wrong about it. Let me know. All right, see you in the next video or stream tomorrow. We will be streaming Nikke again. We are back, guys. We finally got some capture card issues sorted out. And of course, Stellar Blade will be coming in all those bonus streams and boss videos as well. All right, but I'll catch you guys tomorrow for Nikke. Peace.